the Hope Podcast, a podcast devoted to the explanation of the laws governing health, opulence, peace, and enlightenment. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We are now on season 2, and we appreciate your support on this journey to spread truth and light.
Law of Life by A.D.K. Luck. Scientific Miscellany. Editor's Note. The following excerpts are miscellaneous facts about science and spirituality. We are coming to a time where scientists are discovering and uncovering the truth which has been remarkably aligned with what spiritual teachings have already recorded. More may be found in the books at www.lawoflife.com.
When you stop to think for a moment, you can realize that all outer manifestation has an unseen power behind it. For instance, the electricity, the radio, and now you have the television, which only a few years ago could not be comprehended and accepted by the average person. You realize that all comes from the invisible into the physical appearance world. Behind all outer manifestations is an invisible power. People think lightly on that which they cannot see, and yet that which they cannot see in the physical forms over 94% of the pressures of both good and evil. Take the radio. You do not see the power that produces the sound or sifts it out from many other sounds in the atmosphere, and you hear some beautiful music or some inspiring talk. The same with electricity, even though all wires and connection are in order, if there is not juice from the powerhouse flowing through, there is no currents which produces manifestation. Even your physical body was produced from the invisible into outer form. An oak tree comes out of a small seed, that is, the powers that produce it are latent in the seed. The expression, "there is no time or space," is often used by some when they first come into greater understanding or understanding of universal and cosmic activity. In a sense, that may be right, yet in cosmic activity there is space and time, but not as we know it. As to space, the central sun and the suns of each system with their respective planets occupy or are in a certain location. They do not interpenetrate each other or occupy the same places, as a sense of spacelessness would indicate. As for time, to travel in consciousness, that is, almost instantaneous. As for an ascended master traveling in his body, which is all light, it would be a matter of just a few minutes to go to the opposite side of the earth. As to space ships traveling in interplanetary space, it takes a certain length of time, although only a small fraction of time in comparison with earthly ways of travel. Science says that a universe and galaxy travel through space at a terrific rate of speed. These calculations are according to three-dimensional observation, but they evidently operate in higher dimensions. the fourth, fifth, sixth dimension, or even higher, from that state of consciousness, there is no sense of speed. Also, time is recognized in cycles of events and progress, and in creation of planets, it is a progress, not instantaneous. Because of an invisible ring pass not a certain distance out from the earth, no discord is permitted to enter outer space, to contaminate it or any other planet. This is really a sphere or pressure of light from without, or from the outer regions, that way maintaining harmony in the rest of the universe. The discord on Earth has slowed down the vibratory action of the atmosphere in which scientific measurements are made. It is because of these differences between the atmosphere of Earth and outer space, which does not contain discord, that discrepancy of scientific calculations comes in. Around each golden city in the ethers is a belt, a force that nothing of lower vibration can penetrate. Around each planet is a similar belt, a sphere, called ring pass not. Every planet that exists is inhabited. That is its purpose. Meteors are substance, consciously focused, powerfully charged by the ascended masters and projected to certain parts of the earth to bless nature, usually to dissipate destructive vortices. Sometimes a meteor, so called, is one of the masters passing through the atmosphere of Earth. The foliage in the center of the earth is ivory and pink. The atmosphere is a soft white light, night and day, and of even temperature. People live therein. They were drawn into the interior when they were confronted by hostile hordes and refuses to fight them. That is, the earth opened up for them to enter. There is no discord there. All is harmonious. It has been over 80,000 years that America was the last spot on this earth where the cup of light could be sustained. The instruction the Ascended Master are given forth is not only for your individual freedom, but for the change of the axis of the earth. To require a dispensation for the earth, it must harmonize with every element of this system. When nature is harmonized enough, even the desert will put forth flowers several times in a season, and the fruits and growth will be much larger. It was said that the lotus was the first flower brought forth on earth, and was the divine pattern of the I Am presence. Honey, wheat, corn, beans, and redwood trees come from Venus, so the masters said. Outside of efficiency, there is nothing in comparison with the harmony maintained in the feeling, in the heart of a business. Science, etc., has but touched the lowest ebb of civilization, and the perfection naturally is not there. Originally, in the first Golden Age, there were no division of races or nations. That state has to again manifest on Earth. Divided conditions come about after the laggards had come to Earth. All racial characteristics will eventually fade out and all will blend into the Aryan type. The people of archaic Indo-European descent, the term meaning kinsman or noble, not to be confused with the Nazi version of the Aryan race in features and color. Color is only in the physical body. The Christ self of all is blazing white. All important books and records were taken from the Alexandrian library by the masters before the fire. These were put in places of safety. Some books are in the library of the temple at Luxor, Egypt. Washington's vision was given him by a great cosmic being who is given great assistance to our freedom. That vision was a real prophecy and foretold the future of America. Mankind thinks it is the combined essence of life in the masculine and feminine that creates form, yet it is the stream of life that does it. Why was day and night established? It was not always so. To compel the human to become quiet. Otherwise, we would live only a very short time, perhaps not more than 12 years. Vertical currents of energy and horizontal, where they meet, they form a cross, and creation takes place. A cross symbolizes creation. The universal substance of light flows horizontally around a planet. The divine current coming down, being vertical, meets the current forming a cross, which forms the heartbeat. The two currents form the spiral. All action of energy is pulsation. You have only two movements, the push and the pull. The two together make a spiral, which is an ascending action. You can prove this law. You do not have to just take someone's word for it. The Ascended Master Saint Germain has had a hand in promoting fruit and vegetable juices, as well as certain materials, for instance, silk and now nylon and similar materials, especially for underwear. These materials have a tendency to give some protection against psychic forces. More than 20 years ago, the dictators of Europe were visited by the Master Saint Germain. All their guards and locked doors were no obstruction to him. He visited them from time to time in an endeavor to get them to cooperate. But when they were determined to go their own way regardless, their own destruction soon returned upon them. May 24, 1938. The opening day of class in New York City, the masters established a rainbow of rays from New York to Los Angeles, California. In late afternoon, around the close of the first session, it was seen and also reported in newspapers that buildings of Manhattan were colored in purple, lavender, pink, and their various hues. The Times building was deep purple at the base, with the color lightening to a shell pink at the top. That was an outer manifestation of the inner action of establishing the rainbow of cosmic rays for purification and protection of our country. Those rays completed the circle, going through the earth from Los Angeles to New York. A triangle with the point downward represents the downpouring from the presence. With the point upward, it represents the upreaching of the human. Together, they form the six-pointed star. The Grand Teton, Mount Shasta, and Mount Whitney form a triangle, 3 high mountains in America. They are connected with each other by underground passages. By December 3, 1939, all discarnates and the psychic substance permitted by law, 1/3, had been removed from the United States and some other parts of North America, and all that territory was insulated by a wall of light. Thousands of men in the armed forces who were forced out of their bodies during the war 1942-45 in various parts of the world, especially in the Orient, when released from the body, straight away came to America in their inner bodies, because their desires in the physical had been such. Of course, they came up against the wall of light, and when they did so, they were taken and escorted to the higher realms. That was permitted by the law, because the student body was making the call, and because of their own free will they had come over. If they had stayed in the atmosphere over the Orient, they could not have been removed. All of the discarnate entities have since been removed from the earth. All have been taken from the sleeper's realm. Some have been there for a very long time. That is, they were taken out of inertia and have been induced into action again. All have been removed from the compound, so-called, and taken to temples, schoolrooms at inner levels. They are all studying, making application, and rendering some service each day. During the year 1956, the light of the earth expanded 3 times over what it was before. That great intensification was enabled to take place because the causes and course of certain destructive qualities had been removed as well as the disembodied through decrees and cooperation of some unascended beings with the ascended ones.
Please tune in to our classes and daily radio on www.gatheringofchilas.com.